In 2018, my bike got stolen. Just the wheels got stolen, actually. Luckily, I found replacements on Facebook Marketplace for $50. The first time I rode my bike after replacing the wheels, I noticed they felt eerily similar to the ones that had been stolen. But unfortunately, I never really paid close attention to the details of my around-town bike. I don't notice things like the broken knob on the top of the shifting mechanism or the faded UCI race stripe below the saddle. I just use it. And as long as the wheels are there, I never have a reason to doubt it. But the unfortunate truth is one day my bike will be gone. All the way gone. In this 7,000 person corner of America, bike theft is the #1 crime. In 2018, that bothered me a lot. But today, it doesn't weigh all that heavily on me. Today I accept that I've never actually had a bike. Because just like birds can't have the wind or a fish can't have the river, we can't have bikes. In fact, I believe that bikes have us. We are all strays. We wander slowly through the landscape, oppressed by gravity and tyrannized by our limited mobility. If only we were lucky enough to be adopted by a bike, to be set free from all of our physics. There's no way to know the full lifespan of a bicycle. How many people will it be ridden by, stolen by, crashed by, and fixed by? How many hills will it climb and then descend? How many miles will it be ridden or pushed? I think it's safe to guess the average bike will cycle through at least 5 people before it's thrashed beyond reasonable rideability. And even that is conservative given some people's dedication to breathing new life into old bikes. The ever-growing refurbished townie market is resurrecting forgotten frames and wayward wheels and transforming them into grocery getters and picnic packers. Whatever the average life cycle of a bike may be, it's absolutely longer than ours. And ultimately, I think we're lucky to be a small part of a big story. When I ride my bike around town, I like to wonder if any of the people in the houses I pass have preceded me in my bike's lineage. Who else out there knows what this specific chain sounds like? Whose fingerprints do mine overlap with whenever I pull the brake lever? Because of this bike, I feel a semi-historical connection to my community that I'll never even know the exact details of. All I can do is wonder, who will ride this bike after me? What's the last road it will ever be pedaled down? But lately, the question that dominates my thoughts anytime I ride this bike is, are these the same f***ing wheels I had before? Life down below. What are we supposed to do with it? Throughout a given day, our eye line is rarely much higher than a few feet off the ground. And nearly everything that happens here. Work, play, love, loss, conversation, argument, winning, losing, for better or for worse. At some point we realized we needed to get a better look at all of this, so we invented the front porch. If not mankind's greatest invention, it's at least up there.
I would now mirror even use my stays that I tested.
The front porch helps us to look down on things, maybe the way God looks down on us. Won't you please needle your way on up to the front porch? The air smells better, the textures are grittier, and the people there are just more important. Not important like a politician, important like a good night's sleep is important. All I would ask of you, my good neighbor, is please don't step on my front porch, because if you do, I'll blow your brains out. The front porch can't hide you from every heartbreak. Some things are just too big. And that's why we also invented Rooftops. A tequila shot for the spirit. The Great American Rooftop saves lives by showing us just how fragile they really are. Every time you sit on a rooftop, it's because a spindly little creature named life twisted you up and left you there just to see what happens next. Far above the earth, time passes a little faster. The air breathes a little thinner. And from up here, sometimes it's easy to feel like just maybe things are gonna work out after all. Yes, days are numbered, shadows are longer, and life down below is short, but it's longer than advertised. So what are we supposed to do with it? And does it matter? And so the heat of the afternoon sun fades away.
And that's the world tonight.
Hot mama, sitting in the sunshine. Hot mama, I'm having such a good time. That song sucks.
I can't let nobody stop me. I can't let nobody stop me, no. I can't let nobody stop me. I can't let nobody. Yeah, I can't let nobody stop me. Yeah, trying to catch a blessing before I catch a body. Got my whole team with me, know they got me. And I'm ride it like I'm riding.
Plants. A lot of people love plants. As for me, let's just say I used to. I used to have this awesome plant. I would take it with me all over the place. I even named it Danico. One day I was driving and Danico looked a little thirsty sitting in the cup holder. It was snowing, so I held him out the window to get some precipitation. The wind caught him, and he was smushed by the semi-truck behind me. No joke, I was not the same after that. Houseplants became a metaphor for my immaturity. To others, they were something to love and behold, but to me, just something beautiful waiting to be killed by my irresponsibility. I wondered if ever again I would find companionship in nature the way I had with Danico. I needed something that could withstand the chaos that is me. And one day, I found it. I started filling my apartment with house rocks. House rocks are great because beyond just being semi-truck proof, you don't even really have to take care of them. Not to mention, if you let yourself believe it, I think rocks are every bit as beautiful and aesthetically pleasing as plants. I really started to believe I could be a rock guy for life, free from the responsibility of plants constantly weighing me down. But over time, I started to realize there are some things a plant can do that a rock just can't. My little sister understands this better than anybody. I think she's pretty much on team plant for life. Disgusting, I know. Even so, I've got to admit, her apartment is pretty magical. You could look at it one of two ways. It's either a catacomb filled with the future dead bodies of Danico's relatives, or alternatively, it's some kind of altar. A physical homage to the fleeting beauty of life. It's made me wonder if part of the reason we like things that are alive is because they die. To take up space and time with things that someday won't. It's this perspective that makes me wish I could leave Team Rock, that I could somehow keep a plant alive. But as long as I am the way I am right now, I can't. I like to think that when I die, the Grim Reaper will get a taste of this same flavor of remorse. When my older sister found out I was living with all of this guilt from killing Danico, she did one of the kindest things anyone's ever done for me. She crocheted me a replica of my favorite little guy. Crochetnico is kind of a compromise. While I may not actually be able to share life with him, he does remind me of something that a rock never could. This thing ends. Be it malnutrition or flying out the window of a car, there is not a single moment worth taking for granted. And so the question is left to us all. Team Rock or Team Plant? Maybe that's silly and pointless to think about, but maybe it's one of the few truly important questions we'll ever ask. If a human life could be summed up in a poem, I like to believe each stanza would be made up of stupid questions like this. And were you to stand on the precipice of eternity, I think you would notice that a lot of people like plants. A lot of people like rocks. Good Lord, hallelujah, God have mercy on us all.
How the ocean and horizon never meet.
The last part of our story has been told before, just maybe not in this exact way. In the past, it's been told through the couple that realizes they're slowly falling out of love, and in a last-ditch effort to resurrect the magic, they get married and have a kid. Then it's been told through the mid-level employee that makes enough money to afford a beautiful life, but paradoxically doesn't have the time for anything but work. He copes by taking a promotion. My version of this story starts the day I get my first tattoo, hoping a permanent cross on my wrist would alleviate the growing feeling of doubt I couldn't seem to escape. Some things are easier to undo than others. Having learned that the hard way, I've realized the easily undoable things are pretty great. And so here is a love letter to the sacred ceremony of undoing. On the infinite list of easy to undo things, my favorites are in this order. Number 4, badly tied shoes. 3, an unsent text message. 2, taking the wrong turn. But number 1, absolutely, is dirty laundry. I definitely don't think there's a lack of appreciation in the modern world for our clothing. No matter who you are or where you come from, you have a favorite shirt. And you do what you need to squeeze as much life out of it as you possibly can. Did some gravel follow you home on your bike ride this morning? Do the laundry. Did you work up a sweat trying to outpace something this afternoon? May I suggest you do the laundry? You go out to find a cool rock, car breaks down, oil all over your clothes. Try doing the laundry. Things that can be undone create contrast with things that can't. You can't unhave the kid. You can't get the time back. And just because it was right side up for you doesn't mean you didn't accidentally get an upside down cross tattoo in college. Some people call these imperfections stains. But I guess if I had to pick, I'd probably opt for the term texture instead. I like people with texture. I like that I got some of it myself. And to be honest, once there's enough texture on something, it's hard to imagine what it was like before. A perfect example of this is my bike. I don't notice things like the broken knob on the top of the shifting mechanism or the faded UCI race stripe below the saddle. I just use it. And as long as the wheels are there, I never have a reason to doubt it.